The new Nintendo Switch 2 is here, but is it the upgrade we dreamed of? In this video we unbox it, compare it to the Switch Lite / OLED and test everything from its 120Hz screen to Joy-Con mouse mode. We'll highlight the surprises and the flaws. Right away you notice the console size. It's about an inch wider and half an inch taller than the original Switch. This larger form factor lets it house a big 7.9-inch screen. Now the Joy-Con 2, they're slightly bigger to match the larger console. The sticks are larger and smoother and the face buttons are spaced out better, so you can grip without your pinkies dangling under the console. In handheld mode, this does feel more comfortable for longer play. Your hands aren't as cramped as before. There's also a new C button on the right Joy-Con for quick voice chat controls. The attachment is now magnetic. You simply move the Joy-Con near the console rail and snap! Strong magnets lock them in place. This feels more convenient than the old slide and rails, but I did notice a tiny bit of wobble. One neat new feature is the Joy-Con mouse mode. Each Joy-Con has a little sensor on its side. If you slide the Joy-Con on a flat surface like a mouse, it moves the cursor in game. Next, the Switch 2 dock. It's junkier than the old Switch dock, that's because Nintendo put a fan in it. The dock now actively cools itself, which in turn keeps the console cooler in TV mode. In hand, the new matte grey finish and curves look sleek, but you can feel it slightly heavier, about 35% heavier than the first Switch. It's still comfortable to hold thanks to its bigger frame supporting more fingers. Audio got a bump too. The new speakers are front-firing and clearer. Plus, the Switch 2 has a built-in microphone and supports 3D audio for headphones. Part of Nintendo's new social features. The Switch 2 screen is a major step up. It's a 7.9-inch LCD at full 1080p, full HD and supports HDR and a smooth 120Hz refresh rate. I didn't mind that it's an LCD, unlike the OLED's deep blacks. In fact, the Switch 2 screen is much brighter than the OLED model, which might disappoint some fans, but it's significantly brighter and high-res. And if you ask me, 120Hz LCD is so much better in terms of gameplay than having 60fps OLED. I like OLED a lot, but having only 60fps feels a little bit laggy inside the games nowadays.
Wake up, Link.
Also, the dock's shape is not as solid as I hoped. The console slips in fairly easy, feels super snug, and the dock itself feels a bit plasticky. So, while the fan is great, the overall build still has some old Switch quirks. One more small catch, the Switch 2's power brick is a high wattage USB-C charger. The old Switch 40 watt brick will charge the console, but you can't use it for TV mode. The dock needs the new adapter's extra power. In our quick tests we saw much more stable performance when docked. The fan hums gently, but it's not obnoxious. In fact, the Switch 2 is noticeably quieter than before thanks to its smarter cooling. This means even in demanding games the console doesn't throttle as quickly. In my experience, it stayed cool under load. I was also able to connect my Nintendo Switch Pro controller successfully with my Nintendo Switch 2, which is definitely great. But what I'm more curious of is how those new Joy-Con 2 are handling the new mouse feature. It's not as smooth as a real mouse, but impressively accurate for a controller. It only works in compatible games though. And it does get a little awkward holding a tiny Joy-Con vertically. You're basically shaking your arm instead of wrist. Still, it's cool that Nintendo built this in. And bonus, if you really don't like Joy-Con mouse mode, you can plug any USB PC mouse into the Switch 2 dock and it just works. On the downside, after handling them, the Joy-Cons still feel like the same plastic build quality as before. The trigger and shoulder buttons don't have the crisp click of a Pro controller. And there's no new back paddle button on the Joy-Con themselves, only on the new Pro controllers and charging grip. In short, better ergonomics, but the feel is still somewhat cheap.
Okay, 3, 2... du musst schieben. Ja, genau. 3,
Warte, machen bei 1 oder bei 0?
3, 2, 1, 0. Bei 0.
Bei 0?
Ja.
Okay, bei uns 0, okay?
3, 2, 1, 0. Warte. 2, 1, 0.
Here on this comparison you can clearly see Breath of the Wild on the regular Switch on the left and Breath of the Wild on the Nintendo Switch 2 here to the right. And wow, the difference is unreal. The graphics are noticeably sharper and the entire game looks more alive on the new hardware. It's hard to show it properly on camera, but trust me, the frame rate boost is massive. The old Switch feels sluggish in comparison, especially in busy areas or weather effects, but even through video you can clearly see the high resolution and detail on the new Switch 2. Also, moving from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe to Mario Kart World on the new Switch 2 is like going from HD to full-blown next gen. The tracks are more dynamic, characters pop with detail and everything runs buttery smooth. The lighting, the reflections, it's a real visual upgrade. And again, while I can't show you just how smooth it feels with the higher FPS, the improved resolution is obvious. Mario Kart World just feels faster, sharper and more alive than ever before. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this in-depth look of the Switch 2, then think about giving us a thumbs up and even subscribe if you want to see more such videos. My name is Yu, don't forget to smile, I hope I'll see you in the next video. Peace!